Today, we're going to talk about why balance is important. You know, we're women and women usually wear many hats, from being a wife or mom to being a homeschool mom, a career worker. You know, you own businesses, but we need to find time to have balance and take care of ourselves. You know, I was reading some statistics, and right now, you have a lot of people who are just overwhelmed. They're dealing with anxiety. They're overcommitting to so much that it's really crippling them. They know they just decide not to do anything because I've said yes to so many things. And, you know, I just wanted to hear you guys tell me, you know, what are some ways you feel like we can balance as women and continue to be able to be used? Because I believe it's important for us to have balance because we need to be refreshed. We need to be able to pour out. And if you're always pouring out and never pouring anything in, then that doesn't give you the opportunity to be the best person or the best wife. Or maybe you come in, you're reacting to your child because you have an attitude because you haven't taken the time to eat that day. Mm-hmm. So it's just little things like that. You know, I want to hear from you ladies, what are some ways, you know, you think balance would benefit us as women?
I think for me, when you say balance, I always think of stress, because that's when I get stressed out. That's when I know I'm out of balance. It's kind of my trigger. Mm-hmm. And so I think about all the things that I'm doing. And like you said, when we say yes to too many things, then we end up getting to that place where we're so stressed because we can't do anything well because we're trying to do so much. Mm-hmm. And so it's learning those trigger points and recognizing what to do in those moments. And I think too, how to say no. Mm-hmm. You know, so many of us, we get our self-worth from the things that we do and from the things we're asked to do, right? Mm-hmm. And so being able to say no and being okay saying no, I think is such a key. And I'm not sure exactly how you do that because I'm not that good at it, but I think we need to do it more. Yeah.
And as a younger woman, like I definitely agree. You know, for a long time I struggle with, you know, the more I were doing, especially because I'm an athlete, you feel like you're accomplishing more. But then I had to reflect on what is the quality of what I'm doing. And I really switched from a quantity to quality approach where it's not about how much I do. It's about doing everything with excellence, doing everything a certain way, because that's going to be what's reflective to people. You know, how you do it, how you come in. Are you smiling? Are you joyful? Or are you so overwhelmed because you're coming from the event that you can't even enjoy the experiences you're in?
Yeah, right.
That's good. You know, I read a book a few years ago called The Best Yes, and that really helped me to make decisions better. Like Sharon, you were saying, learning how to kind of say no. Well, sometimes it doesn't have to be a no. It can be just, what is your best yes for that particular thing? For example, I had my son had 2 birthday parties he, you know, was invited to on the same day. One was at 12 o'clock, one was at 1 o'clock, and the one at 1 o'clock was almost an hour away. And so I had to say, well, okay, my best yes for today is going to be, I'm going to go to this first birthday party from 12 to 12:30, and I'm going to text this other lady and tell her that we're going to be 30 minutes late to the party, because then at least we have honored our first guest or, you know, birthday, and at least gone there for 30 minutes. And then we can hang out, you know, at the other person's party for a while. So you have to learn what is your best yes for that particular day. I had to say, you know, I can't go to the same church that I've been going to because that's not my best yes for today, or this is not my best yes for this season, you know? So that's what I've been doing.
Yes.
Yeah, and it helps you balance a little bit better. Like, you know, are you going to take all this time to do this, this, and this, or are you going to balance it out better by saying, okay, I'm going to, you know, divide my time up a little bit more?
Yeah. So many things went through my mind when I think about balance, because I think all of us here, we all have things where some of us are wise, some of us we have different obligations where I can give you my attention and give you my attention, and I have this going on because so we have people that we're committed to. We have obligations, we have things we're involved in, which kind of has us going like this all the time. And for me, I've had to learn, number one, listen to my body, listen to my spirit. It's my mind, body, and soul in alignment. It's not what am I doing? And I had to evaluate. A lot of times I put things on my plate and it's filled up. And it's like, but I'm the one that did it. So I had to take responsibility. I have to take responsibility of what I put it on my plate. And a lot of that is I have learned to make the power of no. Like you said, the power of no. Like I read a book years ago. I was in a Sunday school class and it was based off the book Boundaries. And one thing the teacher always had from the beginning, I never forget, he said there's 3 reasons why we say yes to things and commit. And he said it's the fog. He said fog, fear, obligation, or guilt. And why are you, and then so we have to look within ourselves, or why do I feel like I always have to say yes? Right? Why do I, and it's either because of fear, obligation, or guilt. And then when you can get free from fear, obligation, and guilt, which I narrow down to people, the opinions of other people, when you can get free from that, you take back that power. So I had to learn to do that, and learn to say no to people. And if they get offended or upset, then maybe you're not really concerned about my best interest anyway. Maybe you're not the friend I need in my life. Or maybe, maybe the job, or maybe it's sometimes your job can bring that on. So maybe this is not the right company for me right now because it's causing me to be out of balance.
Yeah, it's making hard choices.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying. I would add a P to your fog.
Okay.
Because I think pride comes in as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes we think that we're just superwoman. I can do it all. I can do one more thing. I know I can. But can you do it well? Is the question. If you do so many things and you're out of balance, then you're only going to halfway do things.
Yeah.
And wouldn't you rather give it your best and have the time and attention, the energy you need to complete something well? And that's where you have to make the choices.
Yes, I totally agree. And then what I try to teach young people, and even I taught myself growing up, is priorities. We have to have our priorities in line.
Yeah.
Like, and in different seasons, your priorities might be different.
Right.
So you have to be flexible enough to adjust and adapt to what's your new role or what's your new job or your new requirement. I can just speak for me, like I was coaching for over 13 years and then I stopped. And a lot of parents always ask, why did you stop coaching? You're good at it. I know I'm good at it, but in this season, I have young kids. I have a different obligation that I need to fulfill. And then when I get older, when they go out the house, I have plenty of years to coach.
Right.
But I still am able to mentor and train. So I'm still doing some of it, but not at the capacity I was, and I'm okay with it. And I think that's what we really have to learn as women, take that burden off our shoulders, take that pressure off yourself, reevaluate your schedule, prioritize, those things that you need to get done for others, but as well as yourself. And then I want to ask you, ladies, what are some ways that you balance or you find self-care or that time, to just refresh and rewind? What are some things you do?
I know for me, I like to travel. So I looked at my schedule and I got a trip coming up overseas, but I decided to take a trip before that. Just a little getaway because I can feel in myself when it's time to break and go. Because for some reason, when I get out of my environment, get out of my city, it's like a refreshing, like a, so that's when I like to, when I can travel and not like ministry, but just for Shana, like I take it. And if I can't go away, I might go out to the beach, just the beach, do something.
What about you, Naomi?
Sometimes my private 5 minutes in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Right.
As a single mom,
Uh-huh.
caregiver,
Mhm.
my homeschooler and a businesswoman, get a lot of time.
Yeah,
So it's usually literally in the bathroom at 5 in the morning.
yeah,
You know?
yeah,
Sometimes I'll do Facebook Lives in the bathroom.
yeah,
Don't
Yeah.
tell anyone. I'm just-
yeah.
Hey, it's 5 o'clock in the morning and,
Yeah.
you know, I just gotta get this out before, you know, everybody comes and I got obligations.
Yeah,
But also something that's really helped me a lot, over the past few months have been this, mentorship program and our mentors, teaching us, what is your one thing for today? And so, you know, whether it be health, wealth, finances, no, I'm sorry, health, wealth, or relationships. Pick one of those 3 categories that you're gonna work on this week. And what is the one thing you're gonna do today for that particular?
Yeah.
So for example, if it's relationships this week, you know, maybe that one thing today is I'm gonna take my son to the ice cream store.
Yeah.
Or, you know, if it's wealth, then I'm gonna make a YouTube video.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But pick one thing a day, and that's the priority. If you do nothing else for that particular subject.
Yeah.
You do that one thing.
And I appreciate you saying that 5 minutes in the bathroom, you know,
For real.
yeah, because that, I mean, we can't take away the power of that. I mean, and with you being, you're a caregiver of a mother of a school age child. I remember many days when my kids were younger, and I'm sure you too.
Yeah.
And it was just that, close the door, y'all
Mhm.
sit down and watch, you know, here's a snack.
Right.
But TV shouldn't be our babysitter. but at the
Right.
same time,
Right.
If it's gonna kill your child.
Right, right.
watch it or-
Yeah, while you get your,
And I can remember little fingers coming under the door.
me too, or knocking.
I was through the bathroom. Yeah, so there's different seasons in
Yeah.
life, you know,
Yeah.
I'm past that season and I do have more time. I'm able to manage my balance better. But I still find myself taking on more and more and more, and I have to listen to my body, as you said. I have to know the trigger points of when I'm doing too much or I'm out of balance. And some things take more energy than others, so it's not like apples and apples, you know. You know, things like accounting for me take a lot more, you know, things that are creative are more fun, they're more inspirational. So you've got to balance it that way too. It's not just, you know, 1, 2, 3 things.
Mhm.
But I think, you know, we have to take the 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I think we also have to take, you know, the weekends away. I think we have to allow ourselves that, you know, and sometimes we don't feel like we earn it
Yeah.
or are valuable enough to take the time.
Yeah.
We're always way too hard on ourselves. for
Yeah.
sure.
And I think it's like you said, you ladies were saying, it's all depending on what you like. Some people, it might be, you know, reading a good book. Some people it's going to the beach. I hate saying so, that probably wouldn't be me. But it's different things. And I think that's important, you know, as we care for ourselves, to find out, maybe you just want to sit down with tea and stare at the birds, eating your bird feeder. Or like me, I've started a garden. And some people's like, that's work, but you know, that's my time away. You know, I get to see my sunflowers grow and just stare at them out the window.
Yeah.
So it's little things like that, you know, those little moments where we can refresh, where we can, you know, refocus, or we can just rest.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just as simple as getting a nap or sleeping.
Yeah.
Because like you ladies said, as women, we put so much pressure on ourselves that we have to go in this society, that just finding a room to breathe can really be helpful. So I would love to hear from you ladies who are watching in the comments. Tell us some things you do, you know, to have balance and to take care of yourself. And we want to hear from you.